Rumours continue to swirl about what may be the wedding of the year, or for some the decade, between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. With wedding bells expected to ring out on July 4, there are whispered details about the celebration party.
Hey Taylor.
Just days away from Taylor Swift's possible wedding, and it feels like the whole world is ready for it. Now more details are emerging about the singer's highly anticipated I-do's to football star Travis Kelce. A source with knowledge of the matter, who is among the invited guests, telling NBC News that 1,100 people are expected to attend wedding festivities this Friday at New York's iconic Madison Square Garden, adding that the invites arrived electronically and required guests to sign NDAs. NBC News has reached out to Swift, Kelce, and MSG for comment, but has not heard back. The source also saying multiple performances are expected from various artists, including Stevie Nicks. NBC News has reached out to Nicks for comment, but not everyone is convinced.
Is she getting married at MSG? There's no way.
As questions still swirl around the big day.
Blake Lively has made a new multi-million-dollar request against former co-star Justin Baldoni. I thought we'd finished this.
I know.
What's happened?
Everyone's saying that. I thought this was over. We were told everything had settled. It's a little surprising they put out the announcement to say there had been a settlement when obviously not everything had been agreed upon. We were told at the time, and even Justin Baldoni's legal team said, yes, we do have to pay a small amount relating to her legal fees for the defamation action, only the defamation action. So a small amount, I guess, obviously is open to interpretation. I think $8 million, which is $11 million-ish Australian, that's not small by anybody's estimation, even though with Blake and Ryan, obviously a very, very wealthy couple. So you get the feeling we're going back to square one. Some people are going to say she can't let go. You know, she's got to move on, but she can't. On the other hand, if she's entitled to it, if they agreed upon it and she can prove that those costs are genuine, then she probably should get it.
The pink carpet's been rolled out in London to welcome the stars of the Legally Blonde prequel series Elle. Lexi Mindtree arriving in fuchsia, stepping into the iconic role of Elle Woods as she navigates life at a new high school in Seattle.
And I hope it encourages particularly young women, but honestly people in general, to embrace who they are. And if being cringy is cool, if that's who you are.
Season 1 of Elle premieres today on Prime, with a third Legally Blonde film in the works. All the pieces are coming together for American singing sensation Olivia Rodrigo. She's launched a collab with Lego. There are 5 sets of bricks highlighting key moments from the singer's career, including a Lego guitar and Lego turntable. There are also 5 Olivia Rodrigo characters. The collection launches globally August 1st.
New development. Prince Harry is reportedly considering flying to the UK for just 24 hours to visit the King after his family trip was thrown a curveball because of the lack of taxpayer-funded security.
The Duke's private security detail has allegedly identified serious concerns with the visit, which would be the first visit for Archie and Lilibet to meet their grandfather since the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Joining us now is Daily Mirror royal editor Russell Myers. Good to have you with us. So we know the Prince is concerned for the safety of his family. Would a 24-hour visit, though, solve those issues?
Well, I suppose it's one of the options, isn't it? Good morning to you both. And certainly, yes, you're right. This has been a curveball, not only for Harry, but also for the King and Buckingham Palace and the rest of the royal aides, who are still waiting for Harry to confirm that he is indeed going to come to the UK. Because just on Friday, we had Harry's spokesman saying that Harry was coming with Meghan and the children. They had laid out a range of engagements that they were going to do. And less than 24 hours later, we heard that this trip was all now up in the air and that Harry was reconsidering his options. I mean, one of those options is just flying in and flying out for 24 hours. But I suppose if Harry doesn't feel it's going to be safe enough to bring his family over, which he said very, very publicly before, then I suppose he may have no option but to leave them at home.
You've reported that Harry is not in a good place and believes dark forces are blocking him. Is there any evidence of that?
Well, he certainly said it himself. I mean, last time he talked about the establishment stitch-up. He named a range of people he believed who were pulling the strings of Ravek, which is the Royal Society, but which is responsible for his security with the Home Office. Now, the people I've spoken to close to him said that he was very, very upset at the weekend. This decision from the Home Office being pulled from under him has set his trip, they can't actually make a decision to come. So I think, the situation for Harry is very, very dire indeed. I think that he wants his security, but he still can't make his mind up whether to come.
Yeah, you can understand the concern. They're super high profile. Russell, appreciate your time.
Natalie Bassingthwaighte has opened up about the abrupt cancellation of the Australian production of Waitress, saying it's been hard to comprehend. The musical, which she stars in, will wrap up its Melbourne run in 3 weeks, but it won't be coming to Sydney. The show's producer citing challenging economic conditions.
It's not just musical theatre, it's festivals, it's shows of any kind. The arts is dying in this country, and that hurts my heart beyond anything. The amount of effort and time and love that people have put into these careers.
Waitress is the latest in a string of musicals forced to close the curtains early, including Beetlejuice, Back to the Future and the opera Ada. And joining me on the desk this afternoon by Live Performance Australia member and musical theatre producer is Suzanne Jones. I just heard you say, listening to Nat speak then, that is so sad. I think that really sums up the feeling in your industry right now. Why are we at this point where we're seeing shows being cancelled or not being able to do their full run?
I think it's a really interesting time economically across the country. I don't think theatre is the only country that is the only industry that is having this situation. I think people all across the country are wondering how they're going to put food on their table, get their kids to school, pay the bills, do all the things. So I think we can sort of think of theatre as sort of a bit of a canary in the coal mine. Like, we're the holiday that you have when you don't want to pay for an airline ticket. So when when costs are building to the point where the amount people will pay isn't going to cover the cost of what we're doing, we have this sort of structural issue. Now, again, I don't think it's just theatre. I think it's across the board, but theatre is a very public event, and so when something happens, it's in the community.
OK, there are solutions, though, and the UK does have a different structure with how the government sort of stepped in to help. Do you think that's what we need to have happen here in Australia, where we need to have something where the government looks at a textile reform for the industry here?
Yes, yes, and yes, 10 times on a Sunday. And not for the reasons that you and your viewers probably think, actually. Like, if we take the art out of it, like what Natalie said is true, the amount of time and energy and passion and desire that goes into being part of theatre, whether you're the mechanist, through the carpenters, the electricians, the performers, the marketers, the producers, we're this massive industry. So when one show shuts, it's not just, oh, theatre people, why don't they get a real job? It's not that. It's a whole supply chain that gets destroyed.
Huge news for Downton Abbey fans this morning. The show's lead star Hugh Bonneville is coming to Australia. The beloved actor will hit the stage in the classic play alongside our 4-time Gold Logie winner Lisa McCune.